Hey guys, Mike from VFX Wraps here. I'm going to show you how to install one of our new VFX Kayak graphic kits. This is what you'll receive here, one for each side and then any additional pieces you might have ordered. Today we're going to be working on a Bonafide SS107. It's a pretty simple install, not too difficult, and a lot of easy marks to line up off of. Just going to need a couple basic things. First, we clean the whole boat down with isopropyl alcohol, 70%, available pretty much anywhere, any supermarket, pharmacy, anything like that. Heat gun, any heat gun will do. A little bit of masking tape, a squeegee, an X-Acto, and just for some prep, a little plastic scraper here. This just kind of smooths out your surface here. We already had a wrap on this boat before, so there's not too much here that we're working with, but still nice just to make sure we get it all. A lot of times you'll have it right on this seam line. Just clean that up a little. Take a microfiber, your alcohol, spray it down, just wipe it real good. Get your edges. You also want to make sure you don't have any debris or anything up on the gunnels of the boat, anything that's going to sneak down behind the graphics. You can use paper towels as well. We prefer microfiber, just less lint. Next, I like to take some of our tape, just kind of tear off a couple pieces, run it every 2 or 3 feet or so, like that. Now we're going to take our graphic. We're calling it a graphic, not a wrap, because it's pre-cut. It's about a 13 to 14 mil finished product. It's going to offer a lot more protection and be a lot more durable than a standard wrap. Kayaks go through a little bit more abuse than, say, a typical boat. On this one, we're going to start at the rear of the boat. Got a cutout right here for your drain plug. We're just going to start taping that up. If you have an extra set of hands, great. If not, you can do it solo. We're just roughly trying to hit our targets. Just make sure everything's lined up where we want it. Now these kits are designed with a little bit of wiggle room. The conditions that you're installing, the conditions when the kayak was manufactured, even though the boat might come from the same mold, there's always a little bit of variation. And that's where that X-Acto knife is going to come into play later on. It's a little warm in here today, so the material's going to be a little softer, a little more stretchy. Now we're lined up, and what I like to do, I get behind somewhere in the middle here and just tear off some of this backing. Get underneath, take that. Don't be afraid of the material, it's very forgiving. Now this material here has a metallic base. It's not something we're offering at the moment. It's just something we ran special for us to try it out. But the install, the material, everything you're going to be using that you receive is going to handle pretty much the exact same way. So right now I'm just pulling that backing out. Always want to be careful that you're not going to tear the graphic anywhere you got your reliefs. And we're just trying to get it close. Right here, we're just loosely lining it up around the drain. Don't worry about it being perfectly centered. There's about 1/8 to 1/4 inch of wiggle room just to compensate for any stretch that you might have, especially with it being a little bit warmer here today. If you're doing this in the colder months, you definitely want to have it inside someplace with some heat. If it's too cold, the material's going to be brittle and it's going to want to split and crack on you. We don't want that. See, the material is very forgiving. We've moved it multiple times. We went with a Realtree aspect background. We are licensed for Realtree. We have their full lineup available. We can customize the colors. If you don't see something on the website you like, just shoot us an email and get that taken care of for you. So it is a bit warmer here from the first time we installed. So you'll see we're gonna have a little bit of trim, nothing major, but we want that so we can show you. If you don't hit your marks exact, don't be afraid. It's not a big deal. Okay, now that I'm pretty happy with where we're lined up, almost, come down a little bit right there. There we go. So as you can see, it's a little bit hotter. This graphic's about 10.5 feet long. So I got a little bit of stretch. I'm just gonna cut a little relief here once we're installed. This will line up perfect on some boats, some conditions, others you'll have a little bit of trimming, but nothing too bad. So I'm pretty happy with where we're positioned now. There's no major wrinkles. Everything's like what we call glassed out. Now we're ready to start squeegeeing. I like to start midsection of the boat, right above that seam line. I'm gonna work center out, keeping the squeegee on a 45-degree angle, and just working overlapping strokes. Work our material up and around the edges here. It's very forgiving, very pliable. Okay, now we'll start working towards the back of the boat. very important that you work on these angles that you see me working the squeegee. We don't want to be plowing it. We don't want short strokes, long overlapping strokes. I like to work on the top edge first. It's just a preference. Probably, I don't want any debris getting under there. It's just habit. Let gravity handle the bottom half. We can lock the top half first. All right, now we're pretty much down on the top. Now we're gonna work the bottom. This is where you might find yourself with a little extra material, not to be afraid. We're still gonna work long strokes with the squeegee, 45-degree angle, working out from the center, from the midline down. It is very warm today, so we don't need the heat gun too much. If it's colder, the heat gun might help relax the film in some of these areas. Let's see if I can set it up where I can show you a little bit of the heat gun here. I could probably squeegee that out, but I just want to show you a little something here. Take our heat gun, plug it in. So sometimes people get scared. You got this material here, it can look a little intimidating. We get some heat on it. You'll see it'll just shrink right out. Just like that. Let it cool for a second. Squeegee it down. We'll come back and adjust that a little bit in a minute. I'm just gonna keep working from the center out. Now, on this, I'm gonna work the material from the center line on this 45-degree angle. We're trying to pull that excess material away. Do the same thing over here. It's got a little wrinkle there, just pop up. Work it down a little bit tighter, spread it out. That's pretty much it for getting the material down. I'm just going to show you a little bit of trimming. Always want to have a sharp knife. Always want to have a sharp knife. If you're buying a new X-Acto blade, it'll be sharp. We do a lot of wrapping here, so I'm just going to snap off a fresh blade. And just a light cut, about the weight of the knife. Trim off any excess. It'll stay down around these spots, nothing to worry about here. So that's about it here. Did a little bit of trimming, nothing to be worried about. Temperature, everything affects the install different, but This is it here. It's always a good idea to go over the edges, your heat gun, heat it up, run your thumb along the edges, just make sure that material's down. And that's about it. Care, very simple. Any kind of soap, anything like that, soap and water's good. If you have any questions, email us, info@vfxcustom.com. We'll answer any questions you might have and help you out in any way we can. Hope this helps you guys out, and we'll see you on the next one.